So since you guys have matched on the show, have you gone on a date?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we went on a couple. What
A
would you
couple, okay.
call those dates? I mean, we went on like to dinner with the couples the
Of
night
course, dinner's a
of.
date.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we were
yeah,
with the other couples
the
that
Oh,
first
oh,
night.
night,
okay, 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 okay.
Oh,
It's
but
okay.
always the first night. You can barely, not barely. Sometimes you can't count that because right after the show, everybody goes out together. Anyway, did you go on a date? No, we just went out with the group after the show. We didn't really go out on a singular date with just the both of us.
then the
Okay.
And
next
then,
day we kind of like hung, call it a date. We just spent the day together. You know, we went and got food to the pool, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Kind of a
like,
day
yeah, I
date,
mean, I
sort
guess you
of.
can call that a date. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Spent the day together. That's kind of a,
So the first night, you guys all went out with everyone. How'd that go? Charisma. Let's start with charisma. Let's start with
it was
charisma.
cool. I think it was cool, but I'm a very like laid back, observant type of person. So, I like to peep everyone's vibe, and there were some other guys that seemed a little more, not so serious about the whole dating thing and more so serious about trying to get some coochie. So like
Mm.
it was a cool like hangout thing, but I feel like the guys were more so we're guys and we're just trying to be guys, I guess.
Okay.
It
So you're
wasn't
saying
really more
guys,
so.
is Jason included in that?
I'm not gonna say completely no. No.
Okay.
Cause I feel like that night he was being trying to be more open with me. He was trying to share things about himself. And then the guys were like, oh no, don't tell her all of this and be more secretive and I'm just sitting there like, if he wants to tell me what he wants to tell me about himself, he can do that. Like worry about
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
your match.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, it was
Okay.
cool.
Nice. So Jason, how was it for you that first night you guys all went out?
It was cool. Because the thing is like the crew of, a lot of the guys, a good portion of us were on before together, right? And we have like a little
Hmm.
brotherhood. And so, a couple of them, they were kind of saying bro, like, maybe you just need to, maybe you sharing too much or you're saying this or that. And to me, I'm a kind of person, I'm open, I'm not
Hmm.
closed off to things. And I have a very experienced life view on a lot of different things because I've had an interesting life at a young age. And so, I'm not the kind of person who's like, I'm real. So the thing about Jason is like whatever you're going to get from me in general is what you're going to see. And sometimes
Okay.
in my life that's kind of been to a fault, because I'm sometimes too open and, sometimes doesn't serve me. But yeah, I was like, open to the whole situation. We're talking, get to know each other. And my thing is like whether we were out with everybody else or not, it was still us getting to know each other. There was some kind
Okay.
of like interesting conversations and things. I think one of the girls on the show was kind of like in front of all of us, because we all went out as couples, right? It was like, each couple that went out or that
All the
got that
matches, right?
matched.
Okay.
And one of the girls who got matched with somebody else was like bringing up how she thought, she kept just asking, like, why'd you pop on me and why'd you do this? And like, we could have done this and done that. And it's like, my thing is like, it wasn't like, I had just met Charisma, but it wasn't like we were like, in a relationship, but it was like we had matched, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like,
Right, right.
looking at her, I'm like, what's Shorty doing? Like, what are you doing?
it makes you feel like you did all this on the show, all these questions. It makes you feel like you're everybody's seeing this, so it's like you're designated to kind of like this is the like I can't go off with a show and then go to another chick. I gotta give you a chance. I gotta give you a try, or so it'll feel like a wasted time.
Like it was just weird.
Long story short, she was just trying to figure out like why her match didn't pop the balloon on me. So when it was my turn, it was Jason and then her match that was
Hmm.
still had their balloon unpopped. And so
Mm.
that night when
She was examining the shit like us. We sitting here and watching it from through our screens, and she was looking at it like that, like, oh, wait a minute, this and this don't really make no sense. Hold on.
we were all sitting down, I personally I don't feel like there was any need to bring it up. Like we're on a dating show, like that's gonna happen.
Hmm.
But she brought it. Wait, who brought it up? I think one of
So
the other dudes.
so first of all, we talk about two different people. I ain't gonna say their
Uh
names,
oh.
but I'm talking about. Charisma. I'm talking about the one. I'm talking about the other girl. I'm not talking about her. That's a whole other situation. I'm talking about the other girl.
What y'all got going
I was
on?
With the
so
red dress.
she
So
had the
what
red
it
dress
sounds
after,
like to
yes.
me is y'all should have went out on your own as a match.
Well,
Yeah.
we did
That's
the
what it
next
sounds
day.
like. Okay.
Okay.
Honestly, we were cool that night. I feel like all the
Uh-huh.
other couples were having their issues. Like
They was having
that
kerfuffles.
night, Jason was, he was all up on me. He was making it known that
Ooh.
he
So let's not even talk about the other people.
was vibing with me
Let's kind of get away from it. Let's talk about y'all two.
and he liked me. And
Mhm.
so we were cool.
Hmm.
It
Good,
was
good,
just
good.
some other stuff going on with the rest of the matches.
Okay, so now the next day. Let's go on
The
to the next
next
Yeah,
day.
let's
day,
do the next day. Thank you.
um, the next day was cool too. Like the whole time we vibed. The whole
Mhm.
day we had good conversation.
Food. You came to the hotel like that, like 11, 12 or something like that, right? Then we went
Yeah,
to the
and then the
pool,
whole rest of the day we were together
just chilling. Yeah.
and
Nice.
yeah, it was good. It was good vibes. There was nothing that I had an issue with initially. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Jason, once you left, because you're Charisma's in Arizona, but you're not. Once you left, how'd
Hmm.
everything go? Have you been back? Have you gone over to him, Charisma? How's everything?
That's the
We've been
real
back every
tea.
well,
week.
That's the real tea. Oh, what?
we had planned
No, I'm
on
playing.
meeting up and I feel like also
That makes it sound like it didn't happen. Planned on meeting up. What's up?
I feel like I was trying a little bit more because I was like, you know what? Since we're gonna do this whole dating thing or we're gonna see what's going on, I'm gonna go ahead and get me a flight and I'll see you within a week. And I was about to go there within that week and we had discussed that and we
Okay.
were ready to do that. I
What
was
happened?
looking at flights
What
and
happened?
then all of a sudden I texted him. I'm like, I forgot what I texted him, but I'm good with vibes and I'm good with energy.
Okay.
And so I just noticed, like, I was just making sure, like, hey, like, are you sure you want me to come down there? Is this a good time? Are we on the same page? And then he hit me with, what did you say? You said we're on two different paths or something
Yeah.
like
So
that.
so
What?
yeah, it's like I said
Well, look, I'm gonna just say this real quick. So earlier on, apparently they were both talking about how both their parents are involved in like church and stuff like that, and he was kind of not too stressed, but he kind of pressed on the fact that it has to be somebody I can bring home to my parents because his parents, even at his age or whatever, I forgot how old he is, but at the same time, he's like, I can't bring certain girls home to my parents or my dad. They're real church people and all that type of stuff. You know, she got too much tat, she revealing too much and all that other stuff. I've looked at her Instagram before. It don't look like the type of girl you don't think that he would bring home. But he took a chance. I guess maybe he thought about that and that happened. I don't know what he's about to say. But at the same time, she said her parents are kind of the same way. But you can have two parents, that are churchy and they both be completely different types, what's acceptable and what's not. Some parents press hard on it way more than others. And his parents, obviously from this situation, presses on about that whole thing way harder than hers does. Hers a little bit more loose. You know what I'm saying?
earlier. I'm in this space where, like, if I have a feeling of something where it's like I'm not 100% sure that this is going to be something that goes to marriage, then I'm in the space. I'm almost 30. I'm not entertaining it, even if it's something good.
So what made you
I've
feel
had that.
like that though?
Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah, there was a couple different things. So
Even if it's something good.
when we first had that conversation, we matched the day before. When I was kind of talking about, the church thing and stuff like that, it was in a sense of like we were like, oh yeah, your parents do this, my parents do this kind of thing, right? But it was not really this thing of like you're in ministry or stuff like that. Whereas in my life, that's what my life is gearing towards, where it's like ministry and it's like I have right. I was in this space where I was kind of out of my walk with God for a while. I got really heavily back into it, and to me, a lifelong partner is somebody who is not just has a lineage of that, but is somebody who is actively seeking after that at the same fervor that I am, right? And so it wasn't, and I'm the kind of person, I'm not going to try to ask questions or try to gear somebody to give me information to like make it be like, oh, are you on this path? You know what I'm saying? It's more so I'm going to just look at the situation and kind of be like, okay, is this what this situation is giving to me, right?
Okay, but in relationships, you don't just go in a relationship being a perfect husband or a perfect wife. You grow
Hmm.
together. So
Correct.
if you were someone that was like, okay, well, I want to see what's going on and I want to see if you would be open to the idea of getting closer to God and being active in the church and things like that, and I liked you and I wanted us to work, I would do that. I would gladly
Hmm.
do. I grew up in the church. I was in the church every Sunday. I even go to the church with my G mama every now and again. Like it's not anything that's foreign to me. So the fact that you did that, like based off of, oh, she's not active right now, like there has to be
Yeah.
another reason. Like you got to give
No,
me
so
something
that was
else.
and how you just explained it is the exact thing I meant. I've been in a situation before with exes and stuff like that before where it was me trying to build them to be a certain kind of person, right? And that's what I did not
Huh.
want to do. I'm not trying to
I'm about to say, yeah, that's not particularly necessarily a good thing.
coach anybody to
Not too much of a good thing. Kind of like, you could pick off some corners about somebody's personality, but actually trying to build it from the way he described it, it's like, what does that sound like? I want to change them into the person. But now I guess he's thinking like, hey, if you weren't that person in the first place, I'm going to let you be you to the fullest extent because you're not for me.
be a certain kind of thing. I'm at a place where it's like, and it's not that somebody has to be perfect. It's just a certain place that I would like that person to be at because I'm at this same place that I'm at. And
So
I know that how I am, I know that, like, for example, because I'm, like I said, I'm getting back into a certain place, right? I know that for me, I would even prefer that woman to be almost stronger in her faith and ministry than I am currently
Okay, that is that's a bold ask.
because of the fact that, like with us, because how we vibe and stuff like that, I'll be real with you. We probably be out partying, we be out, turning up, having fun, stuff like that, which is cool if I was a different place in life. I'm not at that place. And I knew that that's like, I have a high emotional intelligence and I can tell that lifelong, it would not be what I'm looking for long term, even though it would
So,
have been
Jason,
great and fun.
question for you. If
Yes.
that is something that was such a huge deal breaker for you,
Hmm.
why wasn't was that one of your questions on the show? Like, did you ask when she was up there and I was like, okay, do you have any
Hmm.
questions for her? Like,
Hmm.
was one of your questions, how involved are you in ministry? How is your relationship with
Hmm.
God? What like was
Hmm.
that any of your questions to her?
No, but that was the thing that, like she said in the break, that was the first thing that we had a conversation about, right? And not that it wasn't that she lied or anything like that. It was that like she said like, yeah, my parents are in ministry and stuff like that. And I kind of had this, oh, well, that's cool. Because it was a shock.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. Let's maybe run it back. But it wasn't something to, and it's not like a deal breaker until won't deal with somebody because of it. It's a deal breaker because of where I'm at in my life and I won't long term deal with that person. You see, so I'm
It's
saying like
almost the
you
same thing, but
okay. What I'm
Yeah, but
saying
because
is
you
that
did
I
make it a
wouldn't.
that's
deal
not
breaker where you no
realistic
longer want to
though.
deal with her.
That's not realistic though. You don't wake up and be like, okay, God's gonna send me somebody that is just perfect, like in every way,
Perfect,
and
no.
like there's always gonna be something about that person that is not gonna be
You're right.
all the way there. And you, I
It's
just
it's about what okay, how do I put this? It's like everybody's, of course, you first get to know somebody, you get into a relationship with them. Of course, they're not going to be perfect because when you reach marriage and you get into relationships long term, you're going to find little flaws in there that could be debated between both of y'all. If the flaws are that crazy, right? You can see, okay, this person should get approved on that while we're together. I didn't know that she was this type of person or he was this type of person, and things can improve upon time. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: it's like to reach marriage, and you're getting into a relationship with somebody, they're not going to be perfect right in your head, right? But it's like, all right, is this person at least good enough to make it to marriage with or to make it to have a child with? You know what I mean? That's a different conversation too. But if I can make it with this person through marriage, knowing they're not going to be perfect, is there flaws? Like some people trip on things that some other people don't. Like, are there flaws that bad to the point to where I'm just going to give up that easily just like that? You know what I mean? So it's just like, all right, You got this and this and this you could improve upon, but overall, you're a good person for me to the point that we could at least reach marriage, and then all the other stuff that's flaws with me and flaws with you, we could work out, and it'll pan itself out in the long run. And it's just things that you have to talk about. But off break, I guess whatever he saw in her, she wasn't good enough to at least get to marry, because he's talking about, hey, I kind of want my woman to be stronger in ministry than I am. That's a bit of an ask right here, like, you know what I mean? So, hey, or kind of a requirement. But let's say if a woman was only as strong as him or not as strong as him in ministry, but she was exceeding in all these other areas, you know what I mean? Maybe that's a thing, but she wasn't exceeding in none of that. So
I don't know. How could you even tell me that I wasn't have a big enough relationship with God over how many conversations we've had? Maybe two
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
FaceTime after we
two.
had went on our date. Like, and half of that time you were, you was on the drums. You would show me that you know how to play drums and stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
we didn't have enough conversation for you to even try to tell me where I'm at.
Damn.
So I feel like you're going off of maybe my social media.
Like I said, I saw her Instagram. It didn't look it didn't look the part. I'm just saying.
Um, I'm looking at a whole picture of something that goes, like, for example, I'll use another example, maybe it makes sense. Say somebody's a personal trainer, right? And say they're trying to have a personal training business and they want a person to couple with them for that. They can very well get a relationship with a person who is in shape, but they're not on that same level of like personal training, and they can be great for that person, whatever. They also can get a relationship with somebody who's also a personal trainer and go forward together towards a certain goal. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like it's a thing where it was like I couldn't have a relationship with you because of it right now, but because I know where I want my life to be, I know that it's not a long-term realistic situation that I would be in long term, even though it's great, it's fun, you're fun, great, stuff like that.
So can
That's
I
what I'm looking
ask a
at. It's a
question?
long-term thing. Of
Hold on
course.
one moment, Charisma. Let me ask you first.
Okay.
What would make you say your social media? What's wrong with your social media? Or what do you
I mean,
think
I
would
didn't personally think there was something wrong with my social media until
okay?
the episode came out. There was like this big old video that had like
Yeah,
the
they was
little
doing a lot. They was doing a
what is
lot.
it? What is the like a what
Some
is it
losers made
called?
a reaction video
A
and they were being
reaction
super
video.
direct, yeah,
It was a
derogatory and
reaction
gross.
video and they like dogged me out for like
Now, there's all right. So there's a lot of reaction videos that have throughout the whole pop the balloon world. Of course, I don't know if they're talking about MTR or T Pendel, which is some of the two of the most known. I know it wasn't truly visual because he don't be going that crazy on girls like at all. He don't say like, man, look at this blah 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 blah. Whole blubber black whale bad built blah 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 blah. Like going like wilding out. It might have been him because he's known to just be diabolically vicious towards women. Maybe T Pendel, he don't really be diabolical towards women too much, but he's like super jokes. He might be the guy that people go, oh man, he took the joke too far. He might just be telling a crazy joke and cracking up about it. You know what I mean? But I'm suspecting it's MTR. Maybe it, maybe not. I don't know.
like coming on the show looking a certain way and then my social media was I guess another way, which my what I would like to say about that is um I'm the type of person that I'm going to dress for any occasion. If we're going to a ballroom, I'm going to dress accordingly. If I need to look sexy, I'm going to dress like that. If I'm going on a date, I'm going to dress accordingly. If I'm going to church, I'm going to dress accordingly. Like, so I didn't understand that. And then also, any provocative pictures that I have on social media, I got paid. I got paid to do that. And also, I think there's only one photo that had lingerie on, and that's the one that I did get paid for. So I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I get that social media and what you put out there and how you look and how you present yourself is a big factor in how someone might perceive you or even judge you. And I understand that. But I don't know. Like, I'm a hairstylist, I'm in the beauty industry. So I'm going to be look one way one day and look a totally different person another day. Like, I don't know. It just, you got to get to know me more than, the surface. But they, they tried to say that I was, a sex worker and all these
Yeah,
things
yeah, I
because
seen
That
of
was
that.
my
crazy.
social media. And I've never did not anything like that. So it was funny to me.
The one of the reasons is if she really isn't, hey, she's not. But it ain't her. Well, I'm not gonna say it's not her fault that people think that. People are like, oh, look at how she dressed, look how she comes off. She's giving off that type of vibe. I get that part. But why I say that is because there's a lot of girls out here that hide it or do it undercover. Or some girls have a OnlyFans to where they put a completely different name, and it's just like you gotta find it to even know it's them. Like you gotta find it. Like they have it. Some stuff is not even out in the open. Some stuff is on the underlying version of the web where they just have their, secret accounts and stuff like that. And it's like, hey man, she gotta, she do, she gotta. Now some girls do it the smart way where they do like the feet thing. Like this one girl, she was like, man, I'm about to make an OnlyFans, but it's not gonna be nothing but my feet. It's gonna be called Only Feet. And they be selling pictures on the low and don't nobody know it's their feet but them unless you really know this person really well. You online and you're like, wait a minute, you said what? And that looked like her feet. You know what I mean? But yeah, some people hide it. There's all types of sites where you could do things, and some people just do it in real life to where it's like they have clients. You hear about things like that, but that's why people think she's a worker on the low.
Okay. And so now when
Or selling it behind the scenes in person.
he reached out to you and, he said this statement, what was the conversation like after that? Did you guys even have a discussion after that? Or it was just he said what he said and that was it?
Yeah, it was like
Regarding
barely no communication.
Charisma
Like
just
you guys
chill.
being where you
Arlette,
are
you don't
now?
get it. She's really chill. Like you don't get it. Like when she says she's a chill girl for real. Like her the way she responds is not like even when she responded, it wasn't like this like argument thing or like this back and forth, whatever. She's chill. So she was just like, and
Well,
I'll reach out.
I'm just the type of person where if you don't want me, I surely do not want you. Like, so when he said what he said, literally
Okay.
all I said was, okay, because peace out. Like, I'm good over here. Like,
Now he's one of those situations. Like the guy did a few videos ago. I did their catch up. What I'm about to mention, the dude that looked like Genuine. Everybody was rejecting him for his teeth. They were like, "Oh, something's wrong with your teeth. The bottom teeth look weird." He has all his teeth. His teeth are straight, but it's just I guess the way his mouth is just structured, the way it's shaped, it only shows like his bottom teeth and shit. So they pop out, and people were saying, "Oh, it looks like an upside down bunny rabbit," like saying crazy stuff like that. So it looks like his bottom teeth like that. But when he smiles, he has all the teeth. But the thing is, he was getting rejected for his teeth over and over and over and over and over again. It seemed like he wouldn't get anybody, and all of a sudden you get one, then boom, now it's just like, no, it's not my type. And it's like, oh, all that time you thought you would have gave at least a little bit more of a chance to the one that did, pick you up off the show. Even though they've been on the show multiple times, and then people's DMs do blow up when they've been on the show, then they come 2 and 3 times, and it's like, damn, you still ain't find nobody off of the show, even though your DMs might have blew up with somebody that's probably more your type in your area, so they don't have to travel. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the guy that I was talking about before that looked like Genuine, everybody was going in on him for his height. And no girls picked him because of his height. Then the one girl picked him and didn't really mind his height too much at all. And he rejected her because she said, oh, well, she was taller than me. So, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. And it's just like, yo, what? And he basically, his type of girl he was like, she was never my type to begin with. I'm gonna link to that video down below too. She was never my type to begin with. I want girls that are my height or shorter than me. And it's just like, what? You were complaining the whole time? I mean, you weren't really complaining, but you were getting rejected by your height because of your height. Even girls that were your height were rejecting you. But a girl that was taller than you, you just don't even want to give that a chance. But I don't know. It's whatever. It's like dudes that always get rejected for one thing repeatedly, then they get picked. Then the one that picks them don't even like the one that picks you, they don't even like give it no chance. They just, and the thing is, these dudes fell off at barely doing anything, barely went on one date at all. Like the one dude, the Genuine looking short dude I just mentioned, didn't even go on a date. Just was like, nah, not my type. What? You matched with her and everything. You didn't even popped up. Like, come on. Like, And then this dude, not my type, went on a hangout in the daytime. And then, I mean, sometimes it happens that way, but it's just like, goddamn, at least give a one-on-one day to try. But then at the same time, if you have to travel to that person, that kind of adds an extra level. It's like, I gotta do traveling and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So for a first date, to go on a first date and you have to put travel into it, that's a little bit extra communication, because I gotta go. I've never been in the city before. I gotta go to a hotel. I gotta pay for all this just to go on one date with you. So I can kind of add that into the caveat, is if they were in the same city and you only live like 45 minutes away, an hour away, whatever, we can meet up here in the middle, go to a nice place to eat. Then, yeah, that would have happened. But I think a first real date would have happened if they were in the same city. Then maybe this will be a different catch up. But if you have to really think about it that hard, because this person got to take a flight, got to put extra effort into just having a first date because of traveling, then it's just like, all right, you know what? I can kind of call it off a little bit. I think it's okay for me to do that, because you flying out here and me thinking how deeply I am about this whole situation, to how you might not be the one for me. Maybe it's a little bit more acceptable for me to do that by a little bit of an inch, because of the flying and everything, all the extra effort. But, hey, it is what it is.
Like, I'm not short of any options. I'm not
Oh, really?
tripping.
Okay.
Like, whatever you feel is best for you, that could be my blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never gonna be like, oh, but why? Or, oh, but
Right.
no, it was, it was
Okay.
not that.
Okay. And now
Hey.
I know you said you had a question for him
Okay.
before I asked that question. Do you still remember what the question was?
Yes, I do. So a part of me feels like also that you already had somebody that you was dealing with in Cali.
What makes you feel like that?
Oh, word.
Because on your social media, you had posted a girl. I forget what she was doing, but it was in your house or your crib, and it looked like she was maybe cooking or something. And
Hmm.
you know how like you show like a partial part of the person or the body when
Hmm.
you don't want to like put their whole existence on there. That was like how it was, and so I'm like, okay, well, he
Yeah.
probably had somebody already that he was dealing with.
Damn.
Yeah. At the
So he
time
posted
that we
this
were,
when you guys were talking?
This was shortly after he decided like, oh yeah, we're not on the same path.
Okay. Jason,
yeah,
sorry, I
it was
cut you off. Go
definitely,
ahead.
yeah, no, you're good. No, that was definitely not during, it wasn't during the time that we were talking. And even after, it was probably, I would say, it had to have been after October the 25th, 26th, around that time. Actually, it had to have been after like November, when I posted that. But yeah, and it was like the early October when we stopped talking, probably 2, 3 weeks
Okay.
before or something like that. But yeah, to me, I mean, but yeah, even doing that, I wasn't dealing with somebody at the time that we were talking. And when I went on the show, I feel like that would be crazy. And the girl, if I was dealing with a girl going on the show, a dating show, she probably wouldn't be pleased about that, or letting that fly if that was the case. But um, no, yeah, it was shortly after that I did post about it on my social media. But no, it wasn't during the time we were talking or matching, I guess you could say. The 2 days and a couple days after, I guess you could call
I mean, she's not short of options, and he moved on quick. And I guess it's crazy because a genuine guy I was mentioning earlier also moved on quick as well. During the during the catch up, she was like, "Are you dating?" Or you asked the homegirl, "You seeing anybody?" She said, "No, I'm busy as hell. I ain't seeing nobody. I'm so single, still looking. Right, ready to mingle, single, ready to mingle." He said, "I'm already seeing somebody else in the DMs. She's perfect or whatever the fuck." I said, "Man,
Okay. Kharyzma, you're
more matchups happen outside of the show than on the show."
making
it.
faces. What's going on?
No, it's cool. I'll let him have it.
You're not short of options.
Okay.
She a chill girl.
You probably moved on too, homegirl. Just don't want to say nothing about it. You don't want to make yourself look a certain way. Maybe half and half,
Oh yeah.
50-50 on that
Oh
one.
man. Okay. Well, I was hoping for better news, honestly, because you guys had such a breakthrough moment on the show, and
Historic. Historic.
I was really hoping it was gonna go somewhere. But so you're
I want to say one thing. I'm pretty sure men and maybe some women. Oh, actually, no. I'm gonna put them at the same level. Men and because of what I've seen on these catch-ups, men and women come on this show not even thinking that they're gonna they go on the show with maybe I'm gonna match with somebody, right? Because this whole show is maybe, 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 maybe. I'm either gonna match with somebody or I'm gonna get some men in my DMs. Hopefully, I get some girls from this show. Not even from you're expecting how your DMs are gonna look more than who you're gonna even match with. If you see somebody bad enough to attract your eye to want to match with, right? Just based off of straight attraction. Maybe you might see some personality traits. That might be some breakthrough things for you on the show. I'm not sure, but I have a suspicion that a lot of women and men come on the show. They have a small expectation of matching. Of course, it's not wrong to have that, but I think they have more of an expectation of I hope my DMs get jumping. I hope I get the girl or the man I want in my DMs. They hoping their DMs gonna blow up off of this show more than matching with people.
You're saying, just so I can clarify and everything, Jason, for you noticed the differences when you guys were hanging out that one whole full day, or like when you noticed, like, yeah, we're not on the same path in life. That was during that day, like that's when you noticed it.
Yeah, that, and then even like the days after, and then like I'm not gonna say that social media didn't play a role in general, because to me, social media it's a way that you market the things that are important to you or a big part of your life and how you are.
Okay.
And my thing is, like I told Kharyzma, I said, like even the video I made, a reaction video to those guys. My thing is, however somebody chooses to make their money, do their life, present themselves, whatever, that is 100% up to them. I'm not going to judge them or say, oh, you're wrong for this. That does not mean that I will place myself in a relationship with that person or feel like, I want to go down a path with that person. Even though I can step back and say, hey, I respect your hustle, doing what you're doing. Like she said, she got paid for it, stuff like that. But I know 100% in no way, shape, or form a woman that I would want to marry would I be like, okay, I'm cool with this, even if you're getting money from it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
but
so
that was
like,
years ago. I did that shoot years ago. Like that has nothing to do.
to me, it
Like
wouldn't matter if you did it when you was born. It's all the
that's
same to me. Like
crazy.
yeah,
That's
I know, but
crazy
it's,
to
It's
me.
because it's still out in public, and then you get, it starts that though people start to see what you did years ago, and they're gonna look at it as if, oh, you're doing that, but and there's a part of their brain to where it snaps onto, man, it's gonna make them feel like that happened. You did that last week or something like that because they're just not finding it out. And stuff you did a long time ago is gonna pop back up now that you're popular now, and it's just like, oh, that was years ago. You got to explain to a million people that it was years ago, years ago, years ago, years ago, and they're gonna look at you like it happened 72 hours ago. You know what I mean? So.
like
But
that. It's
I
just,
wish you the best of luck. I
you as
swear.
well. And
Like
we still been cool. I mean, there's no bad blood between us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, ain't no blocking each other, no going crazy, like that. We still cool. But yeah.
That's good. And
I
now,
don't follow
Charisma.
him no more. I don't
Yeah, she don't follow me no more. She don't follow me, but
Who cares? Who cares?
don't care
It's
about
not.
her.
It's
it's
not
cool.
important.
It's cool.
Oh no. Okay.
It
And
is
then
what it
Kharyzma,
is.
you said if he would have asked you more questions, if you guys would have had a discussion, you said you have no problem with kind of following a man down that path, or is that a journey you want within yourself even? Like,
Oh yeah, no, that's something that I want within myself. That's
okay.
something that I definitely like I said before, I was raised that way. So that's not something that I will ever neglect in my life. Especially I do believe that God is what keeps marriages together and you need that third
Definitely.
person for a successful marriage. So if I ever see myself getting married, God will be involved for sure. So whether or not I'm going to church every Sunday, he will definitely be involved. I'm definitely a big believer in prayer, and so like I'm willing to work with whoever I see myself with or whoever I'm with in the future when it comes to that. So I don't know,
Okay.
but you know.
Amen.
And now you said that, provocative, your words, not mine, picture that you had on your Instagram is something you got paid for years ago. Is there a reason that it's still up? Or have you
Oh
thought about
yeah,
taking it down?
I'm
Or,
never going to. I'm very happy with all of my photos. I've been taking photos.
okay.
I love taking pictures, by the way. I've been taking pictures since I was a little girl, like professional pictures. I will forever love all of my pictures. There's not one picture where I'm naked or, being provocative or I'm bent over or, like all of my pictures are very tastefully done. And so, no, I'm not gonna take them
Tasteful,
off
E
my
done.
social media. I'm very proud of them. Like if Fashion Nova hit me up today and was like, "Oh, we saw you in that picture and we want you to do another," I will definitely do it. And my husband or whoever I'm with will be okay with that and understand that it's a photo. Somebody got to do it. So, that's what it is. I don't think pictures supposed to define who you are or any of that. So,
Okay. All right. Well, kind of just to wrap things up here, what are some of your projects you guys are working on? Anything we could be on the lookout for? Jason, let's start with you if you have anything.
Yeah, a couple different things. So, I have a YouTube channel that I've been building.
All right. Link to the original videos down below. Um, they're good. Their projects are their business. He's seen somebody else. I guess she's out there looking. She's not short of options, so she's out there still having fun. And he's got somebody in the house cooking and shit. You know what I mean? So I guess they're both gonna be all right. That's that.